evening. And that is pull up a chair. Let me know if you can hear me clear. And am I in the comments there? I can see them coming in. And welcome, all of you. Hey, Tom, how are you? And we've got Michael. If you can dot your names in as well, because not all of them are that clear. But yeah, so and let me know where you are from around the world, folks, as you're coming in. And welcome. And yes, all good. And the sound is okay-ish. I've got an okay-ish. Hello, Jeff. Hello, Bruce. And yeah, cool. So let me make sure I've got my sound in the right place. Yes. So there we have it. Hello, CJ. I see you right there coming on from all the way from the US. We've got Veronica in the house who's busily working in the background and keeping me on board. And tonight we're pulling up a chair. You literally saw me pull up a chair. And we've got more people rolling in. Welcome. And we're just about to start our show. And yeah, so this is looking good. We've got someone here from Brooklyn. Dula Magic from Brooklyn. What's your name, sir? Let us know your name. It's Bruce. No, I got Bruce. I got Bruce further down. I got Veronica in the background saying it's Bruce. No, I've seen Bruce. It is, yes. Okay, you're right. Mola Magic. All right, I got you. And wonderful. We got a good, yeah. So, and we got Peter from Durham. Cool. We got Tom from Gloucestershire. We got Shell from Cornwall. Hi, Shell. Welcome. And just one more, if you can give me a little thumbs up one more time on the microphone and let me know it's all good and clear for you. And I'm experimenting with my new microphone. Largely at the moment, it's just getting in my way, I guess, or getting familiar with it. So let me know, folks. How is the microphone? Good? So no comments. I'm guessing that means it's good, right? All good. Thank you. Sounds good here too, right? Yeah, so I've tried all sorts of different microphones. I'm using got my camera phone. Going to give you a little bit of background useless information, and that is, so I've been using. I've got my HD camera, which's got a built-in microphone. I've also used my microphone on my laptop. Never so good, because that just makes me sound like I'm in a tin box. And I got this new baby, and in my mind, it's experimenting between all three of them. This is the best sound I can give you just yet. We're going to crack on with this show tonight. And I called it a show. It's not a magic show. I'm going to tell you what it's not. It's not a magic show as such. It's not teaching people how to do magic tricks either. No, but rather we're going to be going into the in-depth of performing, entertaining, creating magic with meaning. And I've got a script right here I'm going to loosely follow. And later on, I'm going to be asking questions as well. So we're going to be going around the fire. We're going to have a session where we call sitting around the fire. And tonight, I'm going to unpack my background. Why am I going to start doing these YouTube focuses? And where we're intending to head. And I'm going to share a little bit of magic. I also got the cabinet of curiosity right here. What's inside the box? Which is going to become a regular theme. But what is inside the box? The cabinet of curiosity. And we'll come to that. And we're also going to be hitting tonight, particularly, a focus on street, sideshow, and bizarre magic. How do those three relate to each other? As well as sharing stories and tales. And as the time progresses, i.e. over the weeks that we spend with each other, because I intend to do these every Monday, we're going to be expanding on various different themes. The Cabinet of Curiosities is going to be the main star, for example, next week. And then the following week, I hope to have a guest. And it could be one of you out there, you know. And so the guest is yet to be confirmed. And I'm looking for a special guest that will appear in my show for next week. And I'm not looking for requests necessarily. I'm looking for the right person to fit to fit the theme. Okay. So we're going to begin around the fire. No better way of doing that than actually candlelight. Those of you who know me know I do a lot of magic around fire. I have a fascination, and since a young boy, I've been around a variety of circles, magic circles, gatherings, sacred gatherings, where fire is being a central theme to the work that is being performed that night, as well as particularly looking at elemental magic and using things like air, fire, water, and earth. So I'm calling this around the fire as opposed to around the table. And and in this time, I'm going to share a little bit of background of myself. Now, some of you will know me as the street performer. You will know me as the street magician, and you'll also know me as the founder of the School of Busking and the teacher of that. Something I founded back in 2006. And I must admit, it grew arms and legs, and it got me invites around the world. We ran them in Cardiff, in North Wales. We've run them in Cambridge. We've run them in my hometown now of Glastonbury. And we've run them in Vegas as well, as part of the Magic and Mystery School over there. And we have friends as a result of the School of Busking around the world. Many of you are here tonight, and that's great. And if you're viewing this later on, yeah, do send me a message. Let's do say hello. And so some of you know me that. Others of you will know me of more my recent days when I've been performing more storytelling and bizarre-like magic. For example, my show, the Spirit Wizard show that I was performing, and it for 2 years straight after lockdown. It was one of those shows where I had nothing to lose, and I decided to always do something that I never had time to do beforehand. But my whole circuit was torpedoed, as it was for a lot of us, and I started doing the Spirit Wizard show, which is very much a bizarre magic show, and it drew heavily from my street theatre days and street performing days, which is still proactive even now. That's something I still do. I still perform at festivals on the streets, and so some of you will know me because of that show. Some of you will know me as the founder of Magic Wizardry. And Magic Wizardry is very much drawn from that passion of doing what we call circle work around fire, creating ritual, magic, and storytelling, and creating experiences for people who are on a journey. And there we visit the elements of air, fire, water, and earth. And we can have all-night ceremonies. We've done weekend retreats, weekend work. And so some of you will know me because of that. You will know me as the founder of the School of Busking. And we also host magical events such as Magic Wizardry Weekend. And that was superb. We ran it this year, and it is already scheduled for next year. And Magic Wizardry Weekend was very much of that. A journey of exploring elemental magic, our own spirituality, as well as storytelling, and as well, then threading in various effects, be it from music, touching on on all the senses, and visually entertaining people with some effects as well. You'll also perhaps know me as a practitioner of tarot and divination, which is very much something I very much enjoy. And not tonight, that's a giveaway, not tonight. It's not in the cabinet of curiosity, but you never know what's going to come outside of this box. Very shortly, I'm going to be bringing out the element of curiosity, which is inside this box. Yeah, so some of you will know me for the practice of tarot, ceremonial magic, and creating story and tales. The other event we host is Bizarre Glastonbury. That's an annual event already pretty much full, and that happens in August. And it's a great event, and it's been running, like I say, annually, and it's very much about raising energy and creating magical moments. And again, fire is central, but we also do a lot of work around air, fire, water, literally working with water, and also earth. And a lot of you, if not all of you, will know me for the School of Busking. School of Busking is yet another course, and this year we've tailored right back from what it used to be. And now it's, i.e., these large classes, but now we're tailoring it into real cozy one-on-one experiences with people. So it's really, it's changed somewhat in a great deal for what it used to be. So now we cap it a maximum of 6 people on the course. So this is all the kind of background. Some of you will also know me as a guide, a bard of Glastonbury, and a storyteller. So this is the background. And here's the thing. With all these focuses, with all these that YouTube focuses that I aim to do, and they're going to be different each week. And my aim is to bring elements of all of this together in one show, in a YouTube show. This is pull up a chair with Mario Morris. Next week, the main star is going to be the Cabinet of Curiosity. What's inside the box? The following week, the third week, we're going to have the drawing board. And this is where we'll have potentially a guest who will be joining us. And then on the last Monday of the month, as being our practice, we're going to have a closed circle where we all get together, and this is very much more open, and it'll be like what I'm calling the round circle, the round circle, the round table, and it'll be a closed circle for members only. So, and but there you have it. So, what's in the box? The Cabinet of Curiosity. The strangest thing you may see. Now, this is where I'm going to have to get a little bit serious. You see, this cabinet contains something that I'm pretty sure you'll never forget. Tomorrow morning, you'll wake up and go, and you'll remember the strange thing that you're just about to witness. It's the strangest thing that you'll ever see. Well, at least today. It has the ability to cut right through the skin, through the flesh, through the marrow, and cut right into the heart of people. And it can seek out and knows what you're thinking. It has extraordinary abilities. In a very short while, I'm going to bring out the strange thing. I'm back in, and you're still with me, folks. Let me see how many of you are still there. 8 of you. This is good. It's a bit of a sign, really, the strange thing itself. And suddenly we have this blackout. Am I still good? Can sounds good? You can sounds good. Thank you, Tom. And I'm going to give you guys an option. If you're easily disturbed, this is the time to leave. Like I say, the strange thing is going to cut right through the marrow. He's able to see into your darkest secrets. Folks, I'm going to bring out the strange thing. The world's most intelligent wooden duck has an extraordinary ability to read people's minds. Now, this is it. Some of you might actually feel slightly disappointed, but don't underestimate this beast. Like I say, he has an extraordinary ability to read people's minds. What we need is a pack of cards. Each one is different. A bit like you and me, we're all different, quirky perhaps, but different, I hope. It makes life interesting. Now, my duck, the world's most intelligent duck, has an extraordinary ability to look deep inside your soul. And in a moment, the impossible will occur. Of course, with all you on the other side of this here screen, I do need the help of one person to choose a card for me. And that one person is obviously already here. I'm going to ask her to join me just now. And that's Lady V. You're going to get to see Lady V's hand. And this is it, Lady V. I'm going to go for the cards. Whenever you say stop, I will. Right there, Lady V, take the card. Do not show it to the duck. Most important. Like I say, this duck has an extraordinary ability to read people's minds. And right now, this duck is going to do just that. But Lady V, to make this card unique, I'm going to ask you to draw a smiley face upon that card, a happy face, to sear the moment that we're having together. There's a reason why I keep the lid, see. Guarantees you always get your pen returned. This is it. Now, whenever you say stop, I will. Stop. You return the card to the deck for me. I'll show everybody, but I will turn away. Hopefully you're seeing that, and it's all good. Important to lose that card deep inside the deck. Like I said, I'm not going to be teaching this, but the most important part, just to highlight, I'm going to place these cards into Dippy Duck's feeding pen. His extraordinary ability to read people's minds, but there are skeptics amongst us. You can spot skeptics amongst us. They say all sorts of things. That man, I tell you, that man is in league. He's in league with the duck. And for you skeptics amongst us, I shall blindfold the duck. As you can see, it's impossible for the duck to see. He perhaps might try and peek, but he cannot see. It's made of wood. But just for you skeptics amongst us, I shall cover his eyes, knowing that the duck now cannot see. The duck is sensing the cards. Yes, you may wonder, but I kept this going for 20 minutes once. But don't worry, not today. The world's most intelligent, none other than the world's most intelligent wooden duck. That's such a pretty face, I must admit. Yay. Well, folks, That's one effect I wanted to share with you today. And the reason I'm sharing that is that was a staple part of my street show for over 10 years when I used to do my comedy street magic escape show. That was my opening piece. Once I gathered my audience, once I gathered my crowd, that was my opening piece. But there's other items I wish to share with you tonight, other to share. And I'm going to go into that as well, because I have yet another magical object with me. Before we go into questions and sharing a little bit more, I have this other magical object with me. And it's this item. This item. The magical chalice. Now, this chalice has become a cherished item. Number one, I love the way it sounds. But it also reminds me of the magical tales that we find ourselves here in Glastonbury. That's where I live, just outside of Glastonbury. I can look over this magical town, which is right in the heart of Britain. And it's a mecca for many people who come on pilgrimages. And they come on pilgrimages seeking themselves and seeking out spirituality and seeking out the wonders of Glastonbury. There's also a place we know locally, we call it Avalon, the lakes of Avalon, and the tales of King Arthur are rich here. And in fact, not too far away is the resting place of King Arthur himself in the Abbey grounds, which you can go and visit if you ever choose to come here. Now, why is this chalice so important to me? Is there's also that story of a sacred chalice that was used by Christ himself in the Last Supper. Now, this is a tall order. It was believed by Jonathan of Amathea, getting that right. Jonathan of Amathea. There you go. Glasses help. Joseph of Amathea smuggled out the chalice and brought it here to Glastonbury. The chalice was then hidden in a place called the Chalice Wells. This is a magical place. The well is constantly flowing. There's a constant flow of water, and there's a beautiful garden that you can go and visit. And there's lots of tales and mysteries, but this is one of them, that this chalice was placed and hidden in this garden, never to be found again. And from it, the water runs red. Quite literally does run red. Its entire pathway where this water runs is stained as the result of the water being so rich in iron. So hence this chalice creates, if you like, that sense of wonder. It creates a sense of magic. It creates a sense of mystery. It also creates that of legends. Here we are. I'm going to turn this right around and show you why else I like this here chalice. Bring it right down to the ground for you. An important part. I'd like you to see this. And here we have it, a chalice, a magical chalice. And also we have with us is a magical golden ball. Just for a moment. This is something I've actually purchased this for another reason altogether, and you will see that in another showing. But I thought, why not do something special here tonight? And this is it. Watch the golden ball. And this is it. Magic adorns us. And wherever mystery is, magic adorns. We find it going around and around, like the mystery of life itself. Tales of mystery and wonder. Watch, like I say, it happens fast. You get... And again, the circle of life continues around and around like a repetitive motion. The circle of life itself. Now, sooner or later, we find that the magic of the chalice is something else altogether. Now, watch, like I say, it does happen fast. Tales of mystery. And when we're ready, watch this. Because where there is magic, there is fruit in abundance. Now, that's just something I've been playing with. I thought I'd bring it out and share with you this mystery object. And there's points and purposes behind this. And in a moment, I'm going to be throwing this out to you in regards to questions. But I want to bring it together. What am I doing and what am I sharing right here? Because what we have, in fact, folks, is Glastonbury is a place where legends are created, the mysteries and the tales. People have been coming here for hundreds and hundreds of years, if not thousands, and they've been on pilgrimages. And these pilgrimages are really genuine seekers looking for mystery, meaning, and transformation. It is said if you were to drink from the wells themselves, they will create legends, stories, and tales. And this is one of those things that as we share our stories and tales, magic has a powerful way of creating transformation and change. Now, I'm going beyond the element of tricks. I'm going beyond the element of fooling people, but rather the elements of what we use to make transformation and change in people's lives. Now, if that is an intent, and it's certainly one of my own intents, is to create wonder, to create a sense of meaning. So the magic goes far deeper than just fooling people. And now our magic becomes an instrument. Our magic becomes a poet or poetry in itself. Magic becomes something that we share together with other artists and performers, which allows us to begin to think outside of the box of the world of magic and start considering other practices, other disciplines. So when we hear storytellers, or when we choose to be inspired by story and tale, it can bring about magical transformation and change. First, in the deliverer, and this is one of those things I truly believe, that magic starts within. A wise man once said to me, and I was very keen to get into the practice of creating mystery. And this wise person said to me, it starts from a small spark within you. That's where it starts. It starts within you. The spark of magic starts, and only then can it grow into something bigger. And this has very much been something that I've seen to be true 20 years later. Yeah. But my journey in performing magic started all the way back in 1985 when I first came here to Glastonbury. And now this is where I'm going to bring it over into the world that perhaps we all have in common, or we can relate to in a more common way. And that's street theatre. Street performing sideshow, and bizarre magic. Why do I mention all those things in one? Well, the world's most intelligent duck. I used to call him Dippy Duck, the world's most intelligent duck, was a big staple part of my street show for over 10 years when I first started off back in the late 80s. And I had this, my signature show right back then was world's most intelligent wooden duck, Dippy Duck, linking ropes. All of these I still perform today. The linking ropes, and I used to do the satellite dish of what I called the satellite dish of doom, and literally was a waiter's tray balanced on a telescopic pole that you can get from a cleaning shop, and I used to have this rag that I used to wrap up with a coat hanger, and it was doused in lighter fuel, actually paraffin, and I used to ignite that, balance on my chin while playing the Dam Busters on the kazoo. All in a while had a person in the background holding up a straitjacket for my grand finale. As you can imagine, this was a real big crowd pulling show. And that was my staple diet for like 10 years. That was my staple show, my signature piece. And these are the facts. So that's one of them. However, this Dippy Duck, the world's most intelligent duck, has a much more of a surreal kind of look to it. You can easily dismiss it, especially if if you're a real card mechanic, you might look at this and laugh. Fair enough. Knock yourself out. I don't mind. But the truth is, it's a beautiful, interesting, intriguing item to the public who do not know what this is. So the gasps I get when I perform this are just a testimony in themselves. And also that the tale that you can entwine around something like the world's most intelligent duck, it is priceless. So it becomes about the story, it becomes about the effect. It also, in real time, it's great audience participation play. Now, this item, I believe, also lends itself well to the world of sideshow effects. This looks like it could be in a carney's show. It's a sideshow effect. It also is. It is, in my mind, extremely bizarre. So yeah, you have it. Yeah, those associations, and of course, this chalice, which I must admit is a very, very first time I've actually used it as a magical effect. It's not part of my street show. I don't use these. I actually use coffee cups, and so this is. I bought it for something else, which you will see in another show. You will see in another evening. But I thought tonight, I literally thought of it today. I'm going to play with this tonight. And this is going to be a curious object. And I have one more to show you this evening, which has got nothing to do with magic as such. But yeah, I thought I'll show you this. But cups and balls. Cups and balls. The cups and balls, in the sense when you have that classic image of a street performer, a street magician, they would do the cups and balls. So again, that lends itself to the street. So, what's your thoughts on this? Well, do you have any questions? And I'm going to throw it out to you folks. We're covering a fair bit of time here, but so if there's any burning questions that you have, please put in the comments, and we'll look at them. This is the part that I'm calling the round table, if you like. So if you've got any questions, do ask. Sorry? I've just been told there's a slight delay, and so I need to slow down. What's your favorite element? That's really, really, it's a real interesting question. That is for me. So I would say for years. I would say it was fire. Fire was my favorite elementals, particularly working around fire. I remember, you know, the very first fire I ever really witnessed is when I first came to Glastonbury, and it was in the mid '80s. I was a young lad, and I came down from TP Valley with the Rainbow Tribe, and I was picked up in Cardiff and by the Rainbow Tribe, and they came through to Glastonbury, and I was very much besotted by this girl who was part of their tribe, and she turned out to be like a real girlfriend. You know, we were good friends, and we were both about the same age. I'm guessing round about 13, 14 at that time. Anyway, it was time for me to go home, which meant I spent part of that day in Glastonbury on my own. And I ended up going to what's known today as the Glastonbury Experience, which was a courtyard. And in that courtyard, there was an elemental fire circle, all female elemental fire circle. And because I was such a young lad, they didn't mind me being around, and they adopted me for that afternoon. And what I saw there was a beautiful fire gathering where were these incredible, beautiful chants. There was very, how can I say, consciously minded. There was very health conscious, beautiful food there. And I stumbled into this, and it sowed a seed that allowed me to enjoy and love fire circles and fire magic. And as well, I've been to lots of different fire circles, and the other one that I attended for quite a number of years was my dear friend, Jeff McBride, in Las Vegas. And this was on the Indian reservation, in the Nevada desert, rather. And it was an event called the Bone Dance. And we ended up attending these for quite a number of years, coming back regularly to attend fire practices and ritual. And it's something that has just been part of my my outlook. Sorry, I'm answering this quite widely. In addition to that, in recent years, I've really fallen quite passionate with the element of water. The beautiful thing about water is how deep it goes, and it's quite the opposite element, but you need the two. Here's the thing: fire. If you say we're fashioning a sword underneath the deep heat and like a blacksmith would, of course you've got to quench that work in the cold, soothing waters. Which brings us back to the Chalice Wells or the White Springs, which I love to go to as well. Beautiful, magical practices, and water is yet another element which I enjoy working with. So there you have it. Sorry, let's have a look at the. Yeah, it's brilliant. I'm glad there's lots been said here, and. I'm missing your questions. I do apologize, but I'm trying to catch up. And yes, thank you. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's brilliant. If you have any more questions, this is the time to ask them. And this is the time to consider them. And very shortly, I have one more element of curiosity that I want to share with you before our time together this evening comes and draws to a close. And but before I go there, next week we're going to be doing something slightly different. We're going to be looking at the Cabinet of Curiosity. Now, sometimes coming out of the Cabinet of Curiosity, there may be divination tools. There may be objects of weirdness, and occasionally we will have a guest speaker. And that guest speaker, I'm going to ask them to bring an object of their own choosing, an object of curiosity that they can bring a tale or story to. And okay, I'm just seeing the questions coming in. Thomas has said right here, he's mentioned, I'm finding that the emotional hook important to both you and your audience to find that meaning. Is, right, it's a question, is finding that emotional hook important to both you and your audience to find meaning? In short, Tom, yes, very much so. Creating that magical meaning in people's lives. Sometimes we can get overly distracted by the by tricks themselves, that it because the tricks themselves actually outweigh the narrative that we put behind it. But I find that I can create moments, experiences, and take people on journeys, literally go on journeys with the with story and the hook that we put into the effects that we're sharing with people. Somewhat very similar to that of your musician or a poet or a in my mind, there's no difference at all. It's just that my instrument most often is magic, and that's the instrument I'm using. The story that I create around that is what I choose it to be. Now, even in my street shows, they're very family oriented. They're very family oriented, partly because I am on the streets and it is a family show. But in my mind, just to explain, when I attract an audience, central to that audience is a fire. I see energy in the middle of that audience. And one of the things I love about street theatre and street performing is the wonderful thing about all these people who are coming from different walks of life, different paths, different experiences, different outlooks. But for that moment in time, they're all gathering around the show experience. And for that moment in time, they're all united in one single experience from different perspectives, but they're all on this journey together. And I've seen crowds of like 10, 20 people, 3 to 4, 500 people watching the exact same show. So when I'm performing my show, say at Glastonbury Festival, then there, wow, is a whole different experience. Of course, trying to hook someone in with an effect like so, it's going to get lost for sure. But nonetheless, the story, the hooks I use are really, really important. So for me, it is very much about creating wonder. In a moment, you're going to see something that you'll never forget. Tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up, and the first thing you're going to remember is this here effect. Something I learned from a good friend of mine, Doc Eason, and it was tomorrow morning, folks, after this show, my name is Mario Morris. You're never going to forget that name. Tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up and think of that. That actually works. That literally is something I learned from Doc Eason. It's a way of promoting your work. But yeah, coming back to the story, and this is the thing, what we're sharing are moments, in my mind, of inspiration and wonder. If we're not doing that, then ultimately we're perhaps just tricking people. And so this is very much the work that we're in. If no one else has, this is from Michelle. Am I saying that right? I'm reading from your. So, if no one else has a question, what are your top 3 tips for people lacking confidence? Now, this is that we can do a whole show on that. Really good, and a whole focus on that alone. It's a really, really, and I've got a lot of material that you can access that behind the scenes. If you visit magicwizardry.com, I've got a lot of material on just this. I, in a nutshell, one of the first things I believe that we got to realize is that, to say, for example, stage fright. A lot of these experiences, a lot of the things that we're experiencing, is, how can you say, natural. Actually, standing up, doing, for example, doing a YouTube kind of presentation, is very unnatural. It's an unnatural thing to do. So, of course, when you're preparing to do a show, a public show, a stage show, or if you're prepared going out to do street theater, street performing, we need to realize that it's actually your body is now preparing to do something which is outside of the norm. You're just about to step out, like jumping out with playing with a parachute. Literally is an adrenaline rush in itself. Yeah. So here's the thing. We need to realize that a large proportion of that is actually unhelpful, but there's an element of it, i.e., that is really helpful. I.e., now I'm talking about stage fright. So this is one of those things, is realizing, is sifting through that which is not serving you and holding on to that which is going to empower you to do the job in hand. The other thing I do, and this is sometimes when I because believe it or not, I do at times struggle with confidence, and the other thing I do is I try to take that emotion myself out of the picture. The way I do that, and this is like a quick fix almost, is that I remind myself. I go, well, Mario, I have this chat. I go, Mario, this is not about you. This is about your audience. This is about the people you're trying to reach. You're in servitude. And as soon as I remind myself that I'm there to entertain, to perform, to connect, or to hold space, or to guide people on a journey, or to do readings, whatever it is, to remove myself out of the picture and remind myself that this is not all about me. It's about the experience and the responsibility I have in taking people on a journey. Now, it's not like a quick fix, but it's really powerful. Of course, it has to serve you as well. There has to be something that you're passionate about. And all the years that I've been coaching and working with people, and there's quite a number of you here this evening that I've worked with in various different capacities, that this is one of those things that rears up, right? It's one of those things that comes up quite often. And but yet, just taking note, yet we're so passionate about what we do. However, it's accompanied with this experience of a tug and war, where the confidence is being challenged, the adrenaline is rushing. You could argue, well, isn't it an easier way? There's got to be an easier way to make a living. Why do we do what we do? And that's because we love it. We're passionate about it. Would I do what I'm doing if it wasn't my work and my career? Well, yeah, that's exactly how it started. It started through a passion of wanting to engage and connect with my audience and to encourage people to chase after their dreams and and step into the fullness of their goals and their ambitions. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. So okay. So I think we're coming to that point of the evening where I'm going to highlight number one, if I haven't done it already. Next week, the star of the show is going to be not the duck, we've seen him, the Cabinet of Curiosity. The Cabinet of Curiosity. So do join me next week. And it'll be the same time next week, Monday. And it's going to be slightly different because I'm not going to be in the main feature. This cabinet is. So it might be a slightly shorter showing. And so we're going to be doing that. And then the following week, we're going to potentially have our first guest. And then on the final week of the month, that is the last Monday of the month, we're going to be having our closed inner circle, potentially here or on Zoom. And that will be confirmed next week. But right now, I have one more object. And again, an object of curiosity. What's inside the bag? Yeah. A magical flute. I say a magical flute. Hopefully this will get picked up. This is a Native American flute. And it's new to me as such. And I'm stepping out here. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone to play you a little bit of this here flute. Yeah. And this curious object is a beautiful object, and it's made from I believe it's made from oak, and it's handcrafted, and it's one of the reasons why I believe it's very important for us magicians and performers, storytellers and poets. It's very important for us to look outside of our area of comfort, our area of expertise, or our area of interest, to look at other disciplines and to see how we can benefit from them, how they can inspire us, and how they can cause us to become better in ourselves. Now, this is me stepping out. This, like I say, is quite new to me. I've only been practicing it for the last couple of months, if that, maybe 2 months. And it brings me great joy. It's really deep and meditative, and there's a sound to it that really resonates with my soul. And when I play it to myself, I often go off and sit underneath a tree or what have you, and I will find it carries me away. It carries me into a deeper practice of my a practice of meditation, self-reflection, and it inspires me. And this is the beauty of our creative practices, stepping into our practice, looking at other things and seeing how they can benefit us, as well as what sparks our interest and what fires that flame, and how we can spread and share wonder and magic, and to empower and enrich this world we live in. Thank you, folks. Thank you very much. Thank you for your feedback. And folks, I'm just going to be in closing and this is in the and so until next time, friends, stay curious and remember, the world is still full of curious, magical wonder. Until next week, speak to you all soon, folks. And this is me signing out and saying goodbye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Speak to you all soon. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you.